So, welcome back to School Mondays, beginning group. And like I was saying, just make sure that you guys, if you're learning this um, method and also using the indicators, that you're using demo mode to figure it out. No use giving the money back to the market makers. So we're going to dive right into it. Still got some people joining. Got a good group of us here today, about 15 of us in jumping in right now. And more coming as we're going. So I'm just letting people in. I'm going to get started with it. So I'm not going to do the countdown timer. I'm just going to jump in right now. So if this is all new to you, why it's called AQZ is basically acquisition zones. That's where the name came off. It was really picked up because of Doug's development that he had with it, and also that his son liked Aquaman, and so that's how the name came out of it. So you're going to learn how to set up your AQZ fibs, how to candlestick formations, how to apply them daily and in other areas for yourself. And you could use it on many different areas: indices, Forex, metals, crypto. And one of the ones we have with momentum shift, I actually use momentum shift to use it on stocks to decide when I want to buy or sell my stock entries that I do, because momentum shift works with that. The candles and indicator formations all work with that. And so it also, we get stuff out of the way, works on all time frames and zones. 1 minute, it doesn't work as well. A lot of people have been saying, "Oh, I like to use the 1 minute. It's too busy down there, I believe, for all of that." But I mean, I suppose you could use it there, but there's so much movement back and forth on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 3 minute, those time zones that the lowest I usually go is 15 minute when I'm using them, because it gives me some more confidence in the direction that things are moving. It's based on the old Fibonacci's with modifications that were done. And the AQZ's using that Fibonacci's to optimize trade entries and take profit levels, and also stop loss levels as well. The AQZ, excuse me, the AQZ fibs, entry zones, AQZ entry with stop hunt. There's all sorts of different ways you can set up your AQZs to have for yourself. Sometimes I just use the block. Sometimes I use other areas when I'm doing that as well. So it's important that, when you go through the videos, so I'm going to show you where you can get all the videos for AQZ and all the information in this presentation as well within our AQZ FX Telegram group, where you can get that stuff. I use TradingView on my platforms. I trade on MT4. I mark up on TradingView. That's just my style. Some people like marking it up on MT4. I don't. It doesn't give me the feel and look that I like. Others are comfortable with it. Like Doug likes using MT4. He also uses TradingView. I don't use MT4. I've tried it in the beginning. It just didn't work for me. But everybody can figure their own way of doing it. I always trade on MT4. So on my phone, I have an MT4 app. I don't use MT5. I just stuck with the old MT4. And then I also use the TradingView app, and I trade off of that. So I just switch between screens on the TradingView and the MT4 app. So I mark it up, look at my entry, go back to MT4, set my buy or sell limits, or I market execute off my MT4. I take all my profits and partials and everything else off of MT4. I don't, but I mark up everything on the TradingView app. It just is, for me, it's much cleaner, clearer for me to see it. Plus, you have all the functionality of all the different indicators that we offer in our group. So that's what I do. We're going to show how to set up each of these fibs using it on TradingView. So these are the fib settings in AQZ FX. If you don't have this set up, I'm not going to spend a whole heck of a lot of time on it. In AQZ, we have the videos that show this. AQZ basics will get you going with this. And these are the fib setups. And this section right here, the 0.005, 0.625, and 1, all of this, that's the preferred block. And all the rest of them are what expands out above and below, either for TP or stop hunt zones. So These are the colors we use. I suppose you could change it. I don't. I just keep it the same way. These reds are indicating stop hunt zone areas. These other areas, these blues, or TP zones, things of that nature. This is the preferred entry block. I just talked about that. So when we look for entries, we want the retracement back into that zone. We see a breakout, and you see it come back and retrace, or a breakout below, and you see it come back and retrace. So we use these zones as our entry. This is where we enter in. This is the preferred entry zone. You have a preferred entry block that's around that as well. But this is the setting that we use when we're doing that. So you can basically take all of this, save it, and then go and save another one with just the preferred entry zone, which you can make and use for yourself. One second, guys. What's up? Yeah. I was just teaching right now. What's up? Okay, let me call you back later and we'll figure that out. It'll be about an hour because I'm in the middle of a teaching zone. All right, don't worry, you'll be okay. All right, bye. All right, so that's my son giving me a call. Anyways, so that's the preferred entry zone. I use it all the time, and you'll see it when I show you some of the markups. So we basically looking for what qualifies for AQZ candlestick formation. And so we're looking at bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing, violated bullish, violated bearish. We can look at inside bar as well to see how we do our entries. And so you have your basically bullish and bear candles here on the right. So what qualifies as an engulf candle? Well, basically when you have a close on a candle, this candle's been engulfed as a bullish engulfing. When we have the candle on the right, this is a bearish engulfing. And so when we look for the breakout, we're going to look for the retest into the zone. We mark up this candle. If we're looking for the short, we mark up this candle. This is the breakout. We look for a retest and take it shorter. And so that's how we use our fibs. We do fibs from wick to wick, wick to wick, and we draw it in the direction of movement. So if this is bull, we draw from low to high. If it's bear, we draw it from high to low with our fib settings. This is a violated bearish and violated bullish engulfing. So over here on the left, that same candle formation, we basically drew the fib settings. This candle has now broken outside of this fib setting. So it's been violated. We still keep our fib settings the same way, but we wait for the retest back into this zone again and take it for a short. Same thing here. This has broken outside the wick of this candle here. So we wait for the close and then we wait for the retest back into this zone where our fibs are set. So we don't change our fibs, we don't flip our fibs, we keep the fibs the same. I know that we've done that in the past with others. We also have done it, but with the new fib settings, we just keep it the same because it helps with greater validity on our entries and when we get into them. So here's a bearish engulfing example that we have on gold. So basic, we're using this candle right here. It's been engulfed. We wait for the retest. Notice it broke outside the zone. We wait for the retest and we take it down. Okay, guess what? We got another retest on the left. We take it down. This is always, when they break out, we get the retest. Sometimes we don't get the retest. Sometimes it's only wick. Sometimes we get it again, but we want to come back in the zone. Eventually, if you look to the right here, this starts to violate here on the right. Once we get a close above this zone, that's a violation. And you can take it to the reverse way to the upside. Same thing here. Here's a bullish engulfing, broke out, came back, retest. Guess what? It violated here. It closed below that. So we take this retest at preferred entry and it drops down almost to TP3. Comes back into zone, touches again. We get a little bit more right here. But that's basically the simple principle. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it very hard. If we get a close above this zone, you know, then you basically are going to take it the other direction. We got to close above. Once this violation happened, you probably would have had your stop loss set in this zone somewhere around in here. This is stop button zone 1, which would have been a pretty big drawdown if we did do that one. But you would set your stop button zone in this area, then wait for the violation to come on the other side. So this came up here, broke down. Once you get this close below, because why I'm talking stop hunt is because originally you're thinking buy. You would have got the buy here, you would have got some, maybe take some partials, and then maybe taken out break even, or if you left your stop button going, you would have been taken out down here. So then you wait for your new entry. Okay, so I'm going to skip these questions. There is a pattern for watching the sequence videos. Why do I do this? Because I want you guys to get this. So let me bring this up. And I had them before in a chart, but I'm just going to bring them up. Give me a second. Files. Let it all load up here. So I'm going to do a new share for you guys. The question was, is there a pattern for getting started on these? I'm going to just share from our group how I get into it. Once you're in our AQZ FX group, you just have to click on the name, come down to files. And in our files, we have all these videos that are here. What you want to do is you want to come down to our basic candle setup. So with the videos, you want to watch basic setup first of the acquisition zones. Watch prophetic candle, BTB, which explains break the bank entries. And then you want to go into our PDFs, which have the first ones right here is a PDF cheat sheet. We have another one. I'll make sure I get them all right. Right here, PDF 2, PDF 1. And you could go through these videos that are down here. We also have other videos since this PowerPoint was put together up here, where you can watch about momentum shift, all things AQZ, right? Come back up to the top. There's issues on G-cross, how to do the G-cross entry. And then we have several top-down AQZ analysis, right? And then there's even a trading journal if you wanted to use it. Also another PDF to watch. So these are the areas that you can get into once you get in there and watch these videos. Like I said earlier, always make sure that you go ahead and trade demo. If you're learning this stuff, no reason why you want to give your money back to the market makers. So those are the areas you can find those in our group. Watch us, go over them, take notes, pay attention to the stuff that's there. There's lots of information there. And there's several other videos that we do throughout the week on trading as well. So basically, this is the pattern that we're looking at: basic setup, prophetic candle launch, BTB, and there's many others along with the PDFs in there that you can look at for examples for yourself. I already showed you where you can get them. Click on our name, click on files, select the videos you want to watch in our AQZ Telegram. All right, so here's some stuff. It's pretty simple. Once you click on the name, you got a file section you want to click on. You have all the materials that are in there for you. You can watch them in this order. PDFs the same way. That way you really get an understanding better. And then go ahead and start trying these out, working them on your trading view, trading them on your MT4. I recommend that you do demo. Demo. Can I say it again? Demo. You know, you're just giving your money back until you figure this out, figure out lot sizes, things of that size that you want to do. And then once you get this down, start developing a trading plan. What does a trading plan mean? You know, how are you going to manage risk management, things of that nature? When we do risk management, you know, my recommendation is if you have a $100 account, you're using 0.01. If you really wanted to leverage your account, I would go 0.02 so you can take partials. And then as you go up, you can add your lot sizes to make bigger, to 0.02, 300, 0.03, things like that. You know, right now I have an account that I could do much higher leverage, but I don't. No need to. I'll just take the money at a lower lot that I can use. I'm not that greedy. I just want to grow and compound my account, and I don't get margin called or get in any margin trouble with it. I just keep it in a area of ability that you can do. My goal is to keep growing and then pull money out of the account and grow that account again and pull money out of the account. That's the way I do it. I don't try to be, it's not a get rich quick overnight thing. It's just a way you would develop your management of your trading styles. And if you're over leveraging with big lot sizes, well, that's why your account's getting busted. You need to be very disciplined and principled and have a plan of what you're doing. This will help you get you started, but nothing can solve what's between your head, your 2 ears in your head. This is the battle that you have as your psyche. And you have to adjust your brain and set yourself up. One of the ways is not over leveraging. When you don't over leverage, you don't get panicky, you don't start worrying, you don't close your trades too soon because you're over leveraged, all of those things. You sometimes you just have to let the trade come to you and be patient during the trade. Take partials as you're in that trade, and don't let that overwhelm you. Don't buy over leveraging. You're not going to get there overnight. Trust me, I've done it and I've failed. So, general top-down AQZ approach. You saw some of those videos that I showed you with top-down AQZ. This really helps with understanding directional bias. Where is our pair going? Which direction is it going? And so this is an old chart that I have in here. We're looking at Bitcoin, US dollar. All right, here's the inside bar candle on the monthly. Notice the price action down here closed above, so it's bearish. I mean bullish, excuse me. Let me get my words right. So it's bullish. Take the retest and take it on up. Get a close above. You can take the retest, take it on up, close above. It just didn't give you much move here. You get a close above. This would be the retest. So directional bias helps us in that area. Each of these zones on the AQZ fibs are zones to pay attention to. If it closes above, it probably wants to go to the next zone, or at least halfway up. So the option is you're not going to short yet. You may buy until you start seeing a close below this zone. You're not going to start taking it back down. So those are the areas. So here's a weekly, right? So here's price action, close above, look at the retest. This looking for TP1 in this zone. That's a top-down AQZ analysis. Right now, off of these charts, Bitcoin's bullish. This is done a long time ago, back when Bitcoin was up in the 60K area. So we just look at, it helps us with directional bias. Until we start seeing it close to the downside, you play the direction that it's showing us. Here's the daily. So on the daily here, this is about where we started getting on the high with the 60,000. The daily, we have the close below. Now this is starting to show an area where it would be, the bias would be to the downside. And you know about Bitcoin since then, it has gone to the downside. So you do the analysis. Until this gets a close above, you stick with it. Once this gets on a daily, gets a close above this zone, you're going to take price action higher. Okay, here's the 4-hour prophetic candle right here that we have as an indicator. Breakout, retest. Right now, we don't have a close above. So technically, until we get this close above, the move is not up here, it's down here. And so this could be a move back into 54, 56, this range in here, because this candle has not closed above this zone. Even though I have the arrow drawn here, that's not the correct direction it should be going. It should be going lower. It's kind of off of the daily, the same principle. Look for the retest. It did the retest here, so we're going to look at this level 53. And you know how that played out, because we're there at 53 right now, or lower, as we have on Bitcoin as it currently stands. So here's gold, US dollar. Price action showing it wants to go lower. All the way down here, it's close below this zone. So there's the wick and drop. So this is a 15-minute looking at break the bank entries. How would I take my entries if I'm going to do it? I'm looking down at this zone. It's a lower level. This one's a little bit smaller. I know I'm telling you a lot right now because you go, what the heck's break the bank? So go ahead and watch that video. So I enter this way. This is how I do my entries. I don't just fire it off the AQZ 4-hour, 1 hour. I drop down to 15-minute and take my entries based upon what's going on with it. Oh, this is the Bitcoin. That was gold. This is Bitcoin. So I use my trading view and MT4 to trade. Like I mentioned it earlier, it's very simple. Looking at an account, MT4. Here's my apps that I have. I use. I can switch between MT4 and trading view along the way. All of those work for me very well, and that's how I trade. There's a question out there, having problems with directional bias. Watch the AQZ top-down video. So we take it from higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily. Look at those videos. That helps you with directional bias. And then when you get down to lower time frame, you're going to be basing it on what you see based on AQZs. And many of the things I've been talking about is if there's a close below preferred, then you're going to take preferred for the short. If there's a close above preferred, you're going to take preferred for a buy. Same with AQZ levels. If it's a close above or below, you're either going to short or buy, depending on what you see with directional bias. Watch the top-down AQZ videos in our chat under AQZ, and that should help you understand better. And then demo trade, demo. Till you feel confident and comfortable with it, I would not go live trading this method. No use giving your money back. So I have a little folder in there, have all my stuff that I follow and use, but basically I'm switching between these two. Markup on TradingView, execute on Telegram. So on TradingView, you have all the indicators that are there that we use, that we share in our videos. You have the AQZ fitties. Look how clean it is on the left. All I do is swipe up, separate, then I can select my MT4 and say, okay, I want to put a buy limit at 49. I could just see it right here, then I just enter it over here. So let me show you a little video what that looks like. From all the indicators, it's really functional. Buy fibs up, bam, there you go. Lock it in, find your entries, all of that. Go and execute your trades on MT4. You have all these things you need right there. And it's just basically that simple. I trade that way. I use my phone that way. I don't use MT4. That's just my style. If you like MT4, go for it. I have no problem with MT4. I just like TradingView. I like how crisp it looks. I like the fact that I have all my indicators down here at the bottom. Everything I need, time frames, charts, I could quickly switch and toggle. And I got my color patterns I want to use and everything else. So it just keeps it all very consistent for me. So that's what I recommend. You play around with it. If you like MT4, yeah, I have no problem with you liking MT4. It's a personal preference for me. And you can see why I chose that. So basically, you could see MT4. I can add all my alerts, indicators. I can pull out templates, all sorts of things you could use. On the left side here, I have all my indicators that are on my chart, just like it is on my computer, on my iPad, on my laptop. It all transferable. So whatever I mark up on one platform, all I do is hit save, it transfers over to the other platform. And so it goes to my phone, to my iPad, whatever I'm using, it works. So it keeps it all consistent. I don't have to make new things. It's really neat. I have all my indicators here that I can select, that I want to use, alerts, all of those things. And that's why I use it. I set alerts on my on my TradingView, and it lets me know, hey, price is hitting a certain point. I go back and look at it and take advantage of it that way. Yep, that's the other reason why. Someone said prophetic candle can't be used on MT4. That's correct. Multiple shifts. Some of these indicators we use in the AQZ FX cannot be used on MT4 because they don't have the capability to do that. That is why I use TradingView. And I've been using TradingView ever since. I never really got the hang of using MT4, but that's the pluses. You don't get all this stuff here, plus all these indicators here using MT4. You get it by using TradingView. And so that's why I do it as well. It's actually an algorithm that Doug put together when you were wondering about how we figure out the prophetic candle. It's actually an algorithm that he put together. So there's not a way to really share that information, but you can just use this over here on the thing. And I really don't understand why we wouldn't use TradingView as an app. It's free. You get, so many indicators you get to use for free. You can have different charts you can use. It just makes sense to use this as opposed to trying to make something fit on the MT4. Some people use MT4 out of convenience or quickness. To me, I don't see a drawback by switching screens. So, so let's look at some charts to trade. I'm going to go in and talk about gold. If you guys have known me for a while, that's what I trade. I trade oil, gold, AU, GU, EU. But mainly, I have about 3 years ago just honed in and focused very specifically. My main pair is gold. I know it. I know how it acts. I know how it goes. If you want to be able to trade successful, find a pair you like and learn it. So yeah, so like Bishop was saying, if you prefer MT4, get on your PC and TradingView, and then go to MT4 to draw your levels. Those are the things you could do. Yeah, you can cross-reference off of TradingView as well. That works. Just seems that if that's what you like, that's your thing. No poo-poo on that. So let's take a look. I'm gonna drop this down here. I'm looking at gold, and I've been in trading with gold. I did have shorts since last week, but because I was being disciplined, I didn't know how the new week would open up. If we'd continue with the short, I closed out and took all my profits. And I had a good trading week. If I had held on to those over the weekend, which I trade with FX Glory, they don't charge swap fees or daily penalty for carrying over closed sessions, I would have been really, really dynamic today because I got in way up here in the 90s, 93, 95. I can't remember where I got in up in this region, but I closed out when it came down into this region. I took all my profits on the weekend. And now I re-entered again in this region again for the short, and I'm down here. So what I'm seeing here, price action, guess what? Price action did not close below here on the 4 hour. So where's our retest? Our retest is up here. And that's okay with me. I'm going to be paying attention to see how this plays out, how far Dixie goes down. And then what I do when I'm trading, I jump into my break the bank scenario. And right now, my break the bank scenario is I have an entries up here that I closed. I got in. Let me just get off of this. I'm looking at giving you both view of Dixie and this. So let me make this big for you guys. So right now, what I did is I had this close below preferred. I took the retest. I had some drawdown, not biggie, not at all. And then it kept all the way down. So I have 2 entries here that I got in up here. And I have some more entries. Let me see, where did I get? Oh, that's where I added. I have entries up here that I got into right here as well. At 79, 70. Well, no, I got even higher. Sorry, I wasn't even thinking. I got in up in this one. Where did I get in? I'm looking at my higher one, 72. Where's 72 at? Up here. I got in this region, up into this region right up here, and then I got in down here. So what I'm seeing is this retest right here is actually where the 4 hour candle is going back to. It's probably going to come all the way back up into tap pinky, maybe a little higher. It might retest to this zone. And that's where I have a couple shorts right there. If it does, I'm at break even. I'm okay. I'll just re-enter and take it on down with everything. But what I'm seeing here with my entry is based on this close below, it's going to retest into this zone. So let me get out of here. Let's look at our 4 hour candle. Where's our candle? There's the retest to that zone right here. That's what it's doing. So that would be an entry level for me if I had it. This could be our New York reversal pattern. So I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be patient to see how this plays out. Is this going to keep going up, push up to pinky or to Cheeto, or does it want to come all the way up to this area? So I'm going to wait to see what we get on this close. And that's what we're doing. So I'm just following price action. Right now, this is the retest. So tell me, take it back down. I also know this is New York session. New York likes to reverse. And I'm just going to be patient to see how this plays out. I usually wait to see if we keep the close below here. This is a strong push up between 6 and 7. Are we going to have a directional bias, or is this just a fake out move? So I'm being patient. If I wanted to do a risky move, this would be my retest right here, which is also this retest right here in the 4 hour. And that's what I'm sitting on right now on the 4 hour. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient. No use doing the retest yet. No use trying to be greedy. And I'm just going to see how this plays out. I have a feeling that gold's going to keep regressing. There's no news to change the pattern unless it just wants to kind of retrace a little bit during New York and then continue down, and it could do that. So that's why I'm waiting patiently. I don't want to jump in yet based on a retest to the bottom of the block. If it comes up here, it's going to take out my entries that I had up here. I'm okay with that. I'm at break even. If I wanted to, I could have took partials. I didn't. I was waiting to see how this is going to play out. If we get a true reversal, this is a strong push between 6 and 7 here on Pacific Coast time. But this hour during market open, I guess it's 9:30, 8:30 Central, 9:30 East Coast time. This is a critical game playing hour. And then sometime around 7 with gold, because I've traded so much, I know it's going to find its true direction. Is it going to be up? Is it going to be down? I don't know. If it's up, then I'll reevaluate what I'm going to do. I'm seeing big picture wise with gold, some areas where it has not revisited. And these prophetic candles that we have marked up here, but there's one right here it has not come to yet. So could it come down to this order block that's down here? It broke out, did a retest. That's not even a retest. That's an arrow. Saw that was a retest. It broke out and hasn't retested this zone down here. So that's what I'm being patient for. It also hasn't done this zone breakout, hasn't retested to this zone down here. So could gold be coming down to 1791? Or is it going to play the games it's been doing? Right now, we don't have news that would say things are terrible, things are bad. So I'm going to be patient on the ones that I have my entry, because I'm really hoping to take this down and play the ladder rungs down, adding entries. That's the other thing I do when I trade on the break to bank level. If you noticed, I entered in up here. I added another here. If it would have closed below down here, I would have added another retest here, and so on. I would play the ladder rungs down. Here's another retest zone down here. Even though I have other break to bank entries I've thrown in here just for reference, these are things that I do as it goes. So I'm hoping, seeing while I'm being patient, to see if it actually takes those moves on down to the lower levels here, at least to here, to see where this goes to. For right now, this is a retest. This is a brand new 4-hour candle that we see here. It could be the New York reversal that we get, but I'm going to be patient with it and see what happens between this next 20 minutes. Is going to tell us the directional bias that this is going to go. Is this just a retest for the continuation on down? Don't know. If we start seeing the reversal that they want to bring gold back up into this region because of the economy or whatever other reason there is, those could be things, this could be people trying to make money off of the move that we've had through New York and everything else. So until I get that move, I'm going to wait here patiently to see what happens. And so, looks like I'm probably going to have one or both of my entries taken out at break even if it comes up in here. And we'll see how this goes. It could come all the way up to pinky. It hasn't revisited pinky yet. And I might fire one off at this level as well. And if it continues down. But my higher levels are safe. All of my levels are safe because I got them at break even. And I'm just going to wait to see. This is a strong move. However, I want to see how this closes out in the next 15 minutes. And then finally around 7 to see if they're going to continue with this move straight up. And so that's what I'm doing. That's kind of how I do my trades, and be patient. Now, I could have taken a lot of money off the table, but I was waiting to see if I can take it down for a longer level. And some say, why don't you at least take your partials? Well, that was my plan. I stuck to my plan of what I wanted to do, and that's how I wanted to play it. So looks like that my lower level is going to get taken out if it goes up to the 1861 level. But we'll see. And I'm just going to play this out. I can re-enter if it continues down. or I could just stay out if it wants to continue up. And so I lost out on taking those partials, but I had a different strategy in mind and I stayed with it, and that's okay. And I'm okay with not having that extra money because I'm already at break even. Also, my psyche's not messed up. I'm not like, oh no, I'm losing so much money. I'm not. I'm just kind of waiting to see. I was playing a plan. So it looks like it's going to push up. It might even go to pinky, which would take out these two entries I have here, but it won't take out my higher entries as of yet. But we'll see how this plays out. It's pushing its level into there, and we got a couple minutes, about a minute for this close. Will it reject on Cheeto? Sometimes they reject on this level. Pinky and Cheeto are levels of themselves. Sometimes they reject off of these levels. Pinky is right here, Cheeto is right here. This is preferred breakout. It already retested here. So will it want to retest up? Will it want to go all the way up to pinky? Those are all possibilities. So I'm going to hang out and see how this plays out for the next minute or so. Anybody have any questions?
What time frame is your AQZ set up on?
This one's on a 15 for the break the bank. This one's on the 4 hour. And you could do it on every time frame. This is a 4 hour that I'm looking at, this type of retest. We still have 4 hours for this to close above, which it could do. And then we would look at the trend going back up. I take the retest from here, back up to the higher level. And it looks like my lower level got taken out. We'll see if my higher one gets taken out. So we'll just be patient with it. Looks like it, just knowing the pattern, looks like it wants to go all the way up to pinky, is what it's going to do. It's a strong push up. So after this close, then I could reevaluate what I want to do, what I want to take up. So we have a reversal pattern that developed right here. Basically these lows right here, this reversal pattern. So my two lower levels got taken out. And we look like this next 15 minutes looks like it's going to take to see where it goes. There's a strong move, good 15 hour. I can go to a 1 hour chart and see how that looks. If it lets me, wakey. I have separate charts, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, but I also have a paid version for TradingView. Come on. Slows down. So this is Dixie, and we go to the dollar. Gold. So this is what we're looking at. The old chart here, old prophetic candle. So right now, if we're just doing a straight engulfed candle, this is it. Then we look for the retest for the buy down into this zone, based on what we see here until we get a close below. This is the 1 hour though. And so you could look at it different ways. I still see this as a net positive to the downside right now. And so this next 15 minutes is going to tell us what the directional bias at 7, if they're going to continue up, or if they're going to continue back down. Down here's a break to bank entry zone. So we'll want to come down here and retest this zone before going back up to create maybe that W for the buy up. We'll see. So I'm just going to kind of hang out here, wait to see what this does, to see what we can get going with this. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing. So I use different time frames, but mainly it's the 4 hour and the 15 minute. But I do use the other time zones to get directional bias. So this next 15 minutes to 7 o'clock is going to tell us the direction that New York wants to go, and it may want to retrace back up into higher levels, 71 and such of that. But I do see this to the downside. We're still really bullish based on my G cross, but that's because of the separation. When you see Cheeto cross the downside, it's bearish. Upside, it's bullish. So we'll just see how this plays out. This could just be a little bit of fake out, or it could be the true direction it wants to go for a little bit. And so I'll wait and find out to see what it all looks like at this point. Like I said earlier, I'm probably going to set a sell limit at Pinky, which is right here at the 1871. Pinky's a zone of itself. So that's why I like playing those areas as well. Anybody have any questions of what they would want to ask? All right, I'm just gonna let you guys have that for the day. I will drop this in the chart or in the channels for us later, the Telegram channel for us. Like I say to others, if you have any questions, you can hit me up in Telegram. Please don't ask me about fib settings. You can watch the video on that. But if it's more or less along the AQZ strategy or ideas along that line, you could do that. So with that, I'm going to sign off and get myself ready for the day. Hope this was helpful. Tomorrow I will be on the Doing Technical Tuesday. I don't do these Mondays all the time, but since we've had a few new members, I thought I would do it. So I'm going to be on tomorrow, Technical Tuesday, and we'll go over basically the same principles, but more in detail on trading as well. So I hope this was all helpful for you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you mañana. Have a good one.